Hello again. Welcome to Crop Life Retail Week. My name is Paul Schrimpf. I'm here with Eric Sfliligoj. A few interesting happenings from last week and some coming ahead in this week that we wanted to highlight in this edition. Last week, I got to attend a reception on Capitol Hill called Deconstructing Precision Agriculture, and what it was all about was trying to connect federally funded research and how it's contributed overall to precision agriculture. GPS and sensor technology and GIS. There's so many things that have come out of the federal government in terms of research from military and from other sources that precision ag has benefited from. And to highlight that for regulators and legislators on the Hill, we had this reception. Afterwards, I talked to David Hewlett, who was a grower who was attending, and he highlighted some of the technologies that he finds particularly useful.
Yeah, I'm Dave Hewlett with Rimwood Farms over in Charles City, Virginia, about 60 miles from the Atlantic Ocean along the banks of the James River. And farm with my retired dad. I got two younger brothers, and I'm blessed to have a son farming with us. On about 4,000 plus acres, we grow a little bit of corn, wheat, soybeans, and we're in the mid-Atlantic states, so drought's a very big concern of ours, and precision agriculture has been helpful in us trying to be more profitable. Well, the technology we kind of started with, we're doing some variable rate grid soil sampling. So we have a hydraulic probe, and then we do the auto steer. We have yield monitors in the combines. We're doing variable rate seeding as well as variable rate fertility, and just kind of collecting and trying to pull all that information together. Well, the importance is as the signals become better, and then we can start it out with where we were just doing a light bar, and we weren't as critical there. We were just using some broadcast applicating fertilizers, so accuracy wasn't as critical. Now when we're starting to do some seeding as well as some fertility, we're using RTK, so that's sub 1 inch accuracy, and then it's also repeatable from one year to the next. So that way we can control traffic patterns, but as we start getting more accurate type of GPS receivers, then we're reducing their overlap, and then we're also minimizing any skips. And anytime we can do that, we're being more efficient. Sometimes we found that through the precision agriculture, we're applying more inputs on some of the areas because we're improving production. And then we're managing those areas that are less productive to where that's where the reduction of inputs come into play. I know my granddad, he told us where the best parts of the field were. Now with the technology, we're quantifying that as to why they're better, and can we make some of the lower productive areas more profitable. Yeah, well, irrigation for us is critical, particularly in the mid-Atlantic states. Our soils don't have a tendency to hold moisture like they do in the Midwest and some other parts of the world. So we're typically 3 days from a drought in the summertime. So having access to water and then utilizing that water, so the technologies that even have come about in irrigation management, from moisture probes and then temperature reading, and then the UAVs telling us what where we see weak spots. All that's just kind of coming in together to make ourselves profitable.
So David was part of about 75 individuals who attended that session, and it turned out to be, I think, pretty beneficial and educational for everyone attending. So I'll turn it over to you, Eric. You're going to talk a little bit about some of the consolidation that's happening, one particular that was very interesting.
Yeah, thanks, Paul. Back in the fall, when we were having a couple of our meetings with folks in the industry, people were kind of looking forward and speculating that consolidation, mergers would become a very hot topic in 2015. And some of the early news on that front were the larger companies, the CPSs and the Pinnacles of the world, buying much smaller operations. But last week we got what I would coin one of the first big mergers. The number 11 2014 Crop Life 100 company, South Dakota Wheat Growers, has agreed to merge with the number 19 company, North Central Farmers Elevator. Both those operations are in South Dakota. And their merger together will put them at about number 8 in the Crop Life 100 for 2015, knocking on the door of the top $7 billion club. So I thought that was significant, Paul, and now that big merger is going down, perhaps we'll see a few more down the line during the rest of the year.
Yeah, certainly with Pinnacle making a move in the Midwest late last year, I think it we saw a number of moves kind of coming, probably more to come in the Midwest to shape up distribution and retailing there. One final thing we note this week is that the Des Moines Waterworks decided to file the lawsuit against the counties, the water districts. And it's set off kind of at this point we don't exactly know what's going to happen. Unfortunately, it's going to take a lot of resources to figure out how to deal with this lawsuit, probably resources away from really what we should be doing. There's been a statement with the Fertilizer Institute about it, and so we're going to be very carefully watching this over the next weeks and months, see how it comes out and how it's going to affect things both in the state and outside the state. So that's it for Retail Week for this week. We appreciate you joining us, and we look forward to next week's edition. Thanks.